Going back to last week, again, very disappointed with the way we played. The bottom line is we're too undisciplined. We need to be a more disciplined football team. We need to be tougher mentally and physically to win on the road and to win environments like that. And it gets down to us and what we're doing and how we're coaching. So I need to create more winning habits. We need to practice with a better sense of urgency. So we'll see if we can get back to work this week and improve. Playing a very good Georgia team. So we'll have our hands full and looking forward to the challenge here this week.
Mark, how much of the discipline issues that you're talking about in game is because you're such a young team, or is that not an excuse at this point in the season?
Yeah, I don't feel it's an excuse. At this point, I feel like our players and our coaches, and starting with me, we have a choice in that matter. We either choose to be disciplined or we choose to be undisciplined. And we either choose to be a trained football team, and us as a coaching staff need to train them. And, at times we're an untrained football team, and you're not going to win like that.
What do you mean by untrained?
Just gets down to simple things, habits, creating winning habits, and in toughness. When I talk about toughness, it's not just always, physically, mentally being tough. If you're supposed to run a 6-step out, then run it 6, not 8. And if you're supposed to follow the guard on a run play, follow the guard. Not just run anywhere you want to run. So we're just extremely. That's what I mean by untrained. And it's creating those habits and training to play when you're under pressure. When we're under pressure, our habits come right to the surface, and they're bad habits.
Any updates on Blake or Fred and their injuries?
They should be fine. Banged up, but we should be okay.
Is there anything you were pleased with when you went back and watched the film on Saturday?
I thought the defense gave great effort and did some good things. We defensively were not perfect, of course, and that's aggravating. Had a chance to get off the game on the very first third down of the game. Missed a tackle. Great individual effort. That's one of their best players. The wideout made a great play, and we missed him. And that's the difference. They fought for those yards. He spun out of it and extended and made a great play to get a first down, which is huge, to start the game. And that's one of our better players, A.J., coming down and has a chance to tackle him. We miss him. And then, that's getting back to my point. Then there was some other critical third downs in there that we were wrong in our execution, and that they were there. They were there for us to have successful play, and we just didn't do them. And so, take a few of those instances out, and we have a chance to play a very good defensive game.
Coach, when do you feel this team? Do you feel this team lost its way a little bit? When do you think it happened?
Oh, I don't know if we lost our way. We just need to be better. I don't. We're inconsistent. The wheels aren't falling off. We barely had them on.
Is that, everybody got excited, including, I think, you guys, obviously, after a 5-1 start, but have these last 3 weeks been sort of a reality check in that regard about how far there still is to go?
There's anybody that didn't understand that is sadly mistaken, including our players, So, we've got to scratch and claw and fight and dig down for everything that we get. And to think that you're going to go out there and hope that they happen, we're mistaken. And I constantly talk about that, and we cannot wait for our moment. We've got to train to go take it and make our moment. And right now we're in that mode of, hoping things happen.
So you feel like the guys got overconfident considering the winning record you had in the first half of the season?
I don't know. Maybe. I guess that's kind of what I was just alluding to, that, I'd be shocked. We constantly talk about it and harp on it, that we need to train and put ourselves in a position and fight for all those things, and maybe they don't hear me. I don't know.
Coach, does Georgia give you different looks than you've seen the last couple of weeks?
Pardon me?
This is a different challenge with Georgia than it's been the last couple of weeks?
Oh, it's a real challenge. It's they're all a real challenge if you just look back at our last 3.
So I guess my question is, do they bring you anything different? Does Georgia brings something.
Oh, yeah, they bring a very good football team. I think they bring a power running team that we know has hurt us in the past as well, and that they could run the heck out of the football. And they're very talented. They could throw it. They're very balanced. They're playing great defense. Going back to their offense, I think they've only been held under 21 time this year. This past week, Florida played an inspired game, and give Florida credit. They played a great football game and held them to 20 points, which is amazing because nobody all year has held them under 34 or 35. They think they're averaging 40 points a game. They're extremely hard to defend. So, if you just look at those numbers, we're going to need to score some points to have a chance to win this game.
Coach, these seniors have been through a lot. How do their actions this week get the rest of the team to rally around them to respond against adversity?
Yeah, I think it's important to show some leadership and some character, and we need those guys to step up and push us over the top and push the younger guys to again be more disciplined, to do the little things right, to create those winning habits.
Mark, are you and Neil fully on the same page about the direction of the offense, what you want, what he wants to do?
Yeah, we're on the same page. Whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, you're never going to be perfect. You're always going to, look back on things and know whether it be a scheme, whether it be calls. We're never going to be perfect, but we're doing good things, and we didn't play our best. It's not so much about the X's and O's this past week. It's about our attitude and our discipline. We didn't do, we didn't do some things very well. So we need to get some things cleaned up in our execution.
Offensively, what do you guys have to do against Georgia? What does their defense present?
Well, Georgia's going to present a real problem to us because first of all, they're not going to give you anything. They're one of those aggressive defenses. They're very well coached. They're not going to give you anything easy. So you've got to go earn your yards. You've got to win your one-on-ones. And again, you heard me talk about that last week. It was evident in watching the tape that it comes down to winning some matchups. If you just watch them, I'm going to take a couple examples, but if you watch them, they need a 3rd and 5 or something. They're going to create space. They're going to catch it, and they're going to get it. And then we get covered, and there's nowhere to throw the ball. It's going to be the same way this week. They're not going to give you anything. So there's no magical little scheme or anything like that. You got to win. You got to block some people, and you got to get open. You got to throw good footballs.
Was there anything on film that showed what was wrong with Patrick on Saturday? A common theme, or was it just...
No common theme, just inconsistent with him, inconsistent with guys around him.
There were quite a few shakeups on the depth chart, especially at wide receiver. Is that sort of indicative of what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, we're absolutely, we're going to keep on pushing and keep on making guys accountable, and we're all in this thing together. We're all here to try to get it to improve and get better, and at some point, guys just run out of opportunities. You got to move on to the next guy.
Mark, if you listen to some of the talking heads, I was just mentioning Ken Brando this morning, said Kentucky's a good football team. They're going to win again, no doubt about it. They're going to a bowl. Does that create a situation in your mind, the player's mind, and maybe the fans' mind, maybe something inconsistent there?
Well, I need to do a better job. They're going to hear me, today. And, we need to train to put ourselves in a position to take these games. There's nothing that anybody, it doesn't matter what anybody in here thinks or what they're hearing outside and all that it's not going to just happen. We play good football teams. There's nothing given to you. You have to earn it. You have to go get it. And we didn't play with that mentality, certainly on offense last week. Watch Missouri play football. I like the way they play. They play aggressive. They play tough. And their defensive guys fly around. What's that?
Put you in a better position to do the things you're talking about.
I don't care where we play. We need to, do those things better and play with a better attitude.
Mark, Jeremy Pruitt followed you at Florida State and to Georgia. How well do you know him, and what are the characteristics of his defense?
Yeah, I don't know Jeremy personally that well. I know a bunch of guys that obviously worked with him and work with me and all that, and everything is nothing but positive, obviously, about him. He's done a terrific job, and their defense is aggressive, very well coached. I've always liked the way his secondaries played. I thought he was, they're just got very good position on the football and changed things up quite a bit. So obviously he's done a great job.
When your defense is playing really well and your offense is really struggling, how do you keep the two facets from sort of turning on one another?
Well, there's been moments this year where it's been the other way, too. So there's no worry about that. I really don't worry about that because our team we have matured in that regard, and there's no one side that's dominant enough, and it changes, and I've said that over and over as well, that we need to play a complete football game to win any of these games. We're just not dominant on any one side. So defensively, we had a chance to play a very good game last week, but we didn't. We didn't execute a few things that we could have done better. Outside of those things, it was really a pretty solid effort. And certainly going, I think, 5 3-and-outs in the second half gave us a chance.
When you're dealing with a sort of youngish quarterback like Patrick, who's first year starting, is this the week you sort of talk him back up, or do you kind of get in his face? How do you handle something like that?
No, well, that'll be for us to figure out. So.
I'm sure you that was happening too early this year when you come off the field and you was physically disturbed.
Pardon me?
I said it was a time or two early in the year when you came off the practice field and you were physically disturbed and upset.
No.
Do we foresee a time maybe this week where you can come off the field with this thing?
I don't plan those things. I'm pretty transparent, if you haven't noticed by now. So,
I'm sure you've expressed your displeasure to the team. How have they responded to that? What's been the vibe you've gotten from them? Do they have the same sentiment?
Well, I haven't been with them yet. We're going today, so we didn't go yesterday. I have to give them one day off. It's either Sunday or Monday.
So after the game, obviously.
After the game, oh yeah, the message after the game was simple. We got our tails kicked, and they beat us, and they outcoached us, and we all take our responsibility for that, and we've got to get back to work.
Did you know, or did somebody on the staff recognize in pregame or leading up to that game that Patrick maybe wasn't dialed in?
No, there was no indication that he wasn't dialed in. And again, I don't want to put it all on Patrick. I thought we played so average across the board, every guy offensively, and he needs some help.
Mark, are you comfortable with Boom going back there on kickoff returns now, or is that
Yeah.
holding him out?
Yeah, he should be. He should be. I mean, once you're cleared of those issues, you're cleared. So I don't think there's anything you could do to stop certain plays.
Mark, I get the feeling, and I don't mean to disrespect, you've been here a year and a half, you've done a lot of good things, but the culture really hasn't changed, that these guys don't know how to win. You're banging your head against the wall trying to get them to understand it, but they still don't understand it. Am I wrong, or am I speaking out of turn?
Well, I don't know, to win, I don't know if I'm going to agree with that. I think, well, let's put it this way. We've known all along that we haven't arrived. Now, whether they have or not, Alan, I said that earlier, I don't know. You know what I mean? What they're thinking. I know the things we constantly harp and preach at, But to win in a tough environment on the road against a team that's won how many SEC games? I think somebody told me only Alabama's won more SEC games than them, right, in the last year and a half. So what, they're just going to give you one? I mean, to go beat a quality team, you have to do everything right, and we're not doing that. So I agree with you there. We're not consistent enough, and we don't have the discipline to do all the little things right all the time to win. And there's no excuse whether it's a freshman or a senior, and we have who we have. They have to learn how to play, at a high level all the time, and we have to have those habits and create those habits constantly. That when we put ourselves in a situation where we're under pressure, you got to execute. And again, is running the route, at the proper depth, is that a discipline issue or a mental issue or smarts or whatever it is? We've got to get that out of them, and we've got to get out of them 100%. That's what good teams do. They execute. They do things right, and they win some one-on-ones. I mean, there's no mystery that you know, that you have to put your people in a position to be successful, but you got to fight. You got to win some one-on-ones. And if you don't, you're not going to win. Not against good teams.
So when you guys are 5-1 and we're asking you about being in contention in the SEC East, and your players are talking about being in contention in the SEC East, were you at that point cringing a little bit? Feeling
Yeah,
like
I have no control over what
reality?
you all ask. You know, I have no clue. You know what I mean? But I mean, that's, you know, I mean, yeah, I want to sit up here and say that's asinine. Let's just go try to win one more game. You know what I mean? Let's go win a football game. That's all I want to do. You know, it's not coach speak. Just want to go win the next game. And really, more so than that, want to go win the day. You know what I mean? Let's go win. Let's go have a great day to prepare to win the game. You hear me talk about that all the time. It's truly 1 week, you know, so I don't look at the last 3. You know what I mean? Until I get in here and have to come answer questions, that, you know, obviously you got to be prepared, you know, but truly I'm worried about what we can do this week to win. Get last week corrected and what we're doing good and what we're doing wrong, and then let's move on.
How hard is it with young players to get them to realize you have to do it, you have to win the day? You can't win if you don't do it.
That is hard. It is. It is a challenge. I don't want to give them anything to get off the hook. But it is, you know, and that's why I don't want to submit. I don't want to give into that. You know, I want our players need to be focused and be tough enough to handle those things. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. You know, and that's, you know, getting back to Alan's question. You know, I mean, I think we're better. Are we there? Are we arrived? Absolutely not. You got to compete against, you know, the guys we compete against. You got to do it right all the time, or you got no chance. And I tell our players this all the time. If you do all those things and you play with high energy and a great motor and are as detailed as you possibly can be, you got a chance. That's all it gives you is a chance. Without them, you got none.
Are you going to, is it going to be, you seem pretty angry right now. How is it going to be when you meet with your team today? Are they going to see the angry,
that'll be for them to figure out. That'll be for them. You could stand out in the street, you'll hear it. So,
this is a really awkward time to ask this.
Yeah.
It's your last home game this
Yeah.
week, which means it's going to be senior
That
day.
is awkward, yeah. Yeah, haven't thought about that, yeah. So, yeah, it is.
What does this group sort of mean to you as you've been rebuilding and they've sort of?
No, they're great. I love them. They're a special group. They're a very good group to coach. You know, they've been a lot of fun. They really have. I think they've really helped us set the tone and change the culture and be great leaders and really trying to do everything they can to help us win.
Mark, from where you from what you expected at the start of the season, where's the offensive line at? I mean, they obviously are taking a lot of heat this week.
I thought they're doing some good things. You know, they're doing some good things. I thought the tackles are playing, you know, pretty hard in doing some good things. And Darian really played a pretty good game against some talented guys, with the exception of a few plays. And everybody sees those few plays and wants to point them out. But he really, you know, battled pretty hard and did some decent things.
So it's the interior.
I mean, it's across the board. It's who we are. I mean, you know, like, yeah. I mean, we're not. You know, we're playing some young guys inside, and again, I don't like talking about that. It's what it is. What it is. I don't care. You know, playing a redshirt freshman walk on. You know, playing a redshirt freshman inside, and it is what it is.
What makes Georgia's running back so hard to stop or hard to slow down?
They're a physical group in general. Their team is a physical group. Their offensive line and their backs are just very powerful, very talented, great vision. So, you know, they're a lot to handle.
It's the first week you haven't listed Drew as a backup quarterback. Is that just because where we're at in the season and you're not comfortable playing him at this point?
Yeah,